go. Sup? Do you know what I've been doing? I have been watching back-to-back YouTube videos of myself, like my vlogs from my very first one up until now. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through because I'm trying to make a montage of my personal development journey and my career journey from where I first started to how I got here now. And it's really cool to look back on how I got to this point and how far I've come. Me personally, and like all the insights and aha moments I've had over the last 5 years was really cool to watch. But it's also very... Traumatic's a strong word, but I'm going to use it because language is important. It's traumatic watching back. And I might get really upset here. I vlogged the day that I got my job at my old company. And how that job changed my life. In terms of my personal development, my skills, and my financial situation, which was a huge thing for my mental health at the time. But year by year and toward the end, month by month and week by week, you can physically see my deterioration on video. And like the weight I put on, the stress, you can see how tired I get literally just month by month. I'm falling apart on camera. And when you're going through it, it's like, I used to make jokes about having mental breakdowns. Like at the time, this is back in 2018, so like 2.5 years ago, at the time I was watching. I keep making jokes about how stressed I am. This is in 2017 I started, but 2018 it was when it first started getting really bad. I would make jokes about how stressed I was and, oh, I'm going to have a mental breakdown soon, ha ha. I haven't had a holiday in 3 years, ha ha ha. And I didn't, like, apart from being extremely fatigued, my sleep was absolutely fucked. I could not wake up in the mornings. I couldn't sleep at night. I was going to bed at like 3 a.m. every morning because I couldn't sleep. I was just wired and was a zombie till about 11 or 12 in the afternoon because I couldn't wake up in the mornings. I gained so much weight because I was eating horribly because of the stress. I became super isolated at home because I was just so tired all the time, mentally, physically. I didn't want to deal with anything else other than just waking up and going to work and going home and going to bed. But I was really enjoying my job and I was enjoying progressing. It was really rewarding to me because I finally felt like I valued myself and I was really proud of myself and I was excited to experience climbing a ladder for the first time. Like, this company is the first time I ever had a full-time job. So it was really exciting for me to climb the ranks and earn promotions and be recognized as one of the top performing people in the company at the time, that I didn't care about all of the warning signs. And I didn't know there were warning signs at the time until like mid last year, when I started having actual breakdowns at work. And I didn't know there were breakdowns. I just thought I was super stressed and upset. and I still had guilt for being upset, and I still never ever told any of my leaders or managers what I was going through at work, because to me, in my head, that was a sign of weakness, that like I was doing so well at work, and I knew how stressed out my managers were. I felt that if I told them how stressed I was, I didn't want to put that on them. Like it was kind of a burden. Like I wanted to carry how fucked up I was feeling because I wanted to be strong for everybody else, especially in my team and my employees. I didn't want to show it. But it gets to a point where you're so stressed out and you're so sick from the stress and mentally, physically from stress that you can't help but show it. And I don't know if I ever spoke about this. Like now that I'm looking back on my montage, there was about a 6-month filming gap for me. You guys watch my updates video. If you haven't seen it, it'll be in the description box below. But there was about a 6-month filming gap because of everything, all the changes that were going on at the time, but especially the stress. I stopped vlogging altogether because my job absolutely consumed my life. I worked while I was at work. I did about, on average, 10 hours a day, only paid for 8 every day. But I would also continue working when I got home. My phone never stopped ringing. I would literally wake up in like an anxious fright almost at like in the middle of the night, and I would just check my emails. I would go to bed checking emails on my phone. The first thing I would do when I woke up would be check my emails, literally before I even jumped on social media. I just wouldn't stop. And toward the end, it wasn't even like, it was kind of an obsession, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't like I was pursuing something I was super passionate about either. It was in me that I had to just do really well at my job or else. Like, I don't even know how to explain what was going on in my head at the time, because I only know now what was happening now that I'm out of it. But you've heard me speak about it lately, but I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from what the stress did to my body physically and mentally. I remember thinking for a really long time, I know what it feels like to be stressed mentally, just what tired feels like. And I would get really anxious at work, and I'd just be like really tired and feel like stressed and wired, like, ugh. And then I started to feel the physical effects of stress. And it's so fucked up that I'm crying, because I didn't, like, people talk about trauma all the time as if it's one event that happened to you. And this might not even be trauma, but again, I'm using strong language and words like trauma because I really think it was fucking traumatic for me in a way. Like, it went on for years and I never did anything about it. I never addressed it and I never spoke about it. So it literally consumed me to the point I was broken. And I started feeling physical effects, like I would shake at work. Like the slightest bit of thing would stress me out, or a bit of pressure would be on at work and I would start shaking like this. This is me talking about it. My body would start shaking. I then started getting, eventually started getting pins and needles in my fingers, up my hands and up my arms. When it was at its worst, my fingers were numb. I couldn't feel my fingers when I was stressed. I had symptoms like all of my lips would be super tingly and numb. I can't explain this feeling, but all my lips, and like felt like my lips were kind of on fire, but they weren't burning. Like they were super tingly and just like I just wanted to like scratch them off. That's how fucking annoying they were. I started getting physical gut pain, like I would have really severe cramps at work. I had really severe nausea like every single day, really, really bad nausea. Obviously my cravings for food and stuff were off the chain. Like I just craved salty foods and like really high carbohydrated foods, just bad food really. The nausea progressed to physical sickness. I remember one of the breakdowns I had at work, something random happened on a phone call, things that just wouldn't really normally set normal, not stressed people out. But because of the state I was in and the lack of time I'd taken off and just everything that had built up, small things like really set me off. I remember this one time at work when I was at my worst, I had a breakdown at work. I got so upset. I locked my office door and I started bawling my eyes out, just uncontrollably. Like not just sitting at my desk crying with tears, but like I got off my chair and sat on the floor under my desk and was bawling uncontrollably. And I remember I just like had a wave of fucking nausea hit me and I was so sick. I ran to the bathroom and locked myself in there and I sat on the floor of the toilet cubicle and threw up. And I don't know if you guys have watched my vlogs for a while, but I don't throw up. Like I just don't. Like my body was physically shutting down. I was sick. I was sick in the toilet, and I remember messaging one of my customer service manager, my head of department, one of my employees saying, can you please come to the fucking toilet? Like, I'm not okay. Lucky we were close. We were friends. But I just remember I was shaking in the bathroom. I was throwing up and I was bawling my eyes out uncontrollably. But who does that at work? Like what person allows themselves to get to that point, allows themselves to feel like that at work? Like it's just a job, right? It's just a job, right? And I don't know what encouraged me to make this video. But after watching that montage, I realized how important it is to document your thoughts. Yay! Look how shaky it is from my car. I finally got my brows done again. I'm back to life. Woo! Hey fam. I'm feeling good. I think the beauty industry all opened on the same day. So this week has just been full of getting back to looking after myself. I had my brows done yesterday, so they're a little bit dark still. My chiropractor appointment was yesterday, which he's been open the whole time, which is good. But I had my laser appointment today, so finally can go back to not shaving. My God, it's been so annoying. So laser and brows especially was something I was really looking forward to. Now I just need to do my grays, but lucky enough, my best friend is my hairdresser, but her and Huddy are so sick at the moment, so my grays can wait, you know, they're just getting better. I don't really leave the house anyway, so I don't really give a fuck. But yeah, in the middle of doing my trial week with my mentor at the moment. I know I'm going to be so bored doing sales calls, but it's going to be a really good opportunity because I'm going to be exposed to the coaching part as well. So hopefully it's going to be a mixture of coaching calls and like sales types of calls, so it'll be good practice either way. But just remember, like in the background and in the evenings, I'm still doing 2 12-week courses, one on my Masters of Coaching and one of a business course. So in the background, I'm still working on my business, whereas other times I haven't really been working on my own stuff because I didn't know what I was doing. So there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, and my mentor actually taught me at the start of the week, do everything with your end goal in mind. So, like, what are you working toward? Is what you're doing right now serving you? Is what you're doing right now contributing to that end goal? If it's not, then are you at least learning a skill that will go toward that? If not, then you're probably wasting your time. So that's something I definitely took away from this week. Alrighty, guys, it is Friday. I am off to go meet my mentor, Calvin, to discuss how this week's gone, I'm assuming, and I hope discuss potential work opportunities. I had a really good call with one of the other employees who I know from the self-mastery courses and stuff like that. She's worked with them for about 6 months, so I just asked for her opinion on a few things and I got a lot of clarification, and she was really good to talk to. I don't think I want to do sales. I don't think I'm ready. Like, from the fucking stress trauma from Good Life, I don't think I'm ready for sales. I would love to do more of the coaching space and maybe help out with admin and a few calls, I don't know, but I don't want like a full-time sales role. So yeah, you don't ask, you don't get, right? So I'm just going to be very upfront and honest in terms of where I'm at mentally and physically from my past experiences. And just be open and honest in terms of what I'm ready for and what I want. And then obviously I'm open to working with him and discussing with him what other areas there are and where he thinks I might be best suited, because obviously I value his opinion. So that's what's happening today. Can you spot the kitty? Yeah. So we'll see. I'll update you guys.
Sorry, I'm late, boss. I broke down on the way to work. Oh no, I mean, is your car fine now at least? Car?